Hello, hello, hello. So, I am doing this live because I did say earlier that I was going to do an explanation of a past life regression and my own experience. Before I even get started, I would, from my own interpretation of a past life regression, from me doing one personally, I would suggest it. If you're a person that have a lot of unanswered questions and you wonder why you still keep having the same type of deja vu situations going on and why do this keep occurring, why am I going through this type of stagnation, blah blah blah, it could go on. um Past life regression actually gave me a greater understanding of what's taking place in my physical life, so I wouldn't get too pressed about it or feel some type of way about what was taking place, and I knew that it was something that I had to heal from the past. My suggestion: when you get a past life regression, get it confirmed by a past life reading, from a tarot reader or somebody that's very experienced in past life regressions. I have bare minimum experience. I'm not gonna even lie, but I am very well good with past life readings, pulling up past karmas and stuff like that. So, with that being said, I am going to use this video to explain a couple of things because some people are in regret of getting a past life regression. They said, "Oh, I'm not getting that because what if something resurface that I forgot about that is dangerous, and I might reawaken that thought back up." So, from my own experience, yes, I did bring up some things from my past that I regret um doing because it made me understand a little bit more why I was going in the direction I was going in. It made me understand who my kid's father was to me. It made me understand why I was stuck and why I was stagnated at that time. I do recommend, I'm not saying that it's gonna give you everything in one shot because you will have to do it probably quite often after you complete one part of your journey to another. In 2000, I want to say that was 2017. What made me get a past life regression. I don't know. I actually didn't even know what a past life regression was. I wasn't looking for it. I wasn't doing none of that. I just so happened to say I learned how to meditate. I was going through meditations on YouTube and I seen a past life regression and I read what it was and what could occur. So I started doing a little bit more research about it and I'm like, okay, let me see what this about. I didn't believe in it at first. So I was like, fuck it, I'm gonna just see. So in the mix of me doing that, before I did the regression, I was anxiety ridden. I had a lot of headaches. I was going crazy. Everything was bothering me. I was so aggressive. I was angry. I wanted to fight the world. I ain't gonna even stunt. Um, it answered some things when it came down to what my current situation was. I understood my baby, my kid, my ex-husband's purpose in my life and why was we together and why we bring these kids into this world. It was that to me was the part that hurted me the most because then I started without him even knowing that I understood his past life because it was entwined with mine. I learned where his aggressions and his controlling issues came from when it came down to me. Um, Vice versa to who my current partner was at that time that I was dealing with and so on. So some of the things that I was able to recognize was my ex-husband's uh how can I say, we never got along. I could never He always had like some type of way of trying to bring me or it made me feel like I was being brought down or belittled or I would never find somebody like him or make me feel better than who I was at that time. Mind you, I was 19 when I got with him. The funny part is a lot of people would ask me because I'm African American and their father was Caucasian. And of course, a lot of African American, we still believe in the slavery thing and how some Caucasian people will have leverage over us because they didn't come from the same struggles we came from. The weird part about that, that's accurate. Who the woman that I was in my past life, I am who I am now. I'm intuitive. I I was definitely a high priestess. I was definitely a woman that had found herself. She knew who she was. She knew she was born into a life where they considered her a witch. and that the things that she was able to know previously before things was going on to them back then was a sin. And my ex-husband, I believe when I went through one of my lifetimes with him first, and that was I was um he was like an authority figure over my life. He was like a owner. He owned me. Like, and you could kind of see in our present life that after the divorce, some of the things that he was saying during the process of me breaking away from our relationship, he was saying that. So if I did not do the past life regression when I did, I probably would have got kind of upset or uproar. It would have been a competition between me and him, and I would have never probably fulfilled my destiny of getting a divorce because it was too controlling and we wasn't never able to balance our relationship out. He's coming from a different place. I'm coming from a different place, even though we was born in the same type of situations or similar situations, which was poverty. All right. So a lot of that came up in the past life regression. So goes to my question, and then I'll answer some more about when I did it, what happened. What is a past life regression? A past life regression is a meditation where you go and it's a hypnosis where either you or a person can put you underneath a hypnosis and ask you a severity of questions, but it's going to come from deep. It's basically reading your soul. Like I could talk to your soul versus your physical self because there's some things that you could be hiding deep inside that it's in your subconscious, but you don't know it's in your subconscious. It's 111 too. But at the same time, you're living in that same type of energy or that same type of dwelling without you even speaking it. But this is something that a pattern that your soul remembers. And then sometime when you do a past life regression, you'll actually see your deja vu moments as the answers to your questions. Um, but past life regression is when you relax your body, relax your mind, and then you tap into your deep subconscious, and that person will pull the memories out from that. And this is not just a imprint from your current life. This is a imprint from your soul from one lifetime to the past lifetime to the lifetime before that to the lifetime before that and the lifetime before that. So a lot of people use past life regression to pull up childhood memories like from the traumas and stuff like that. But you got to realize it's not just in our current traumas that we are suffering from. It's some of the things that we went through in our past life that we're suffering from that is taking place in our current life. Um, so with that being said, I'm sorry, wrong question I answered. A past life is like I said in the well, I actually answered both questions. What is a past life regression and what is a past life? A past life is something that your soul has traveled in many forms physically. It could be some people may think that they are earth angels, some people could think that they're from the galactic, some people feel like they from earth or they spiritually been already walked this earth for thousands and thousands of years. Um, and guess what? All of that can be true. We live to die, we die to live, and time recycles itself over and over again. So, me personally, I was shamed upon by my parents and stuff in the beginning of me doing theory, but I didn't need the cards all the time. So, my past life was resurfaced as soon as after I did the past life regression. Um, I got called a witch. And I was so ashamed of I was like, I'm not a witch. I know I'm not no witch, but the truth is what it is. It's what they call it as. But if we look at the terminology of a witch or a high priestess, it's somebody that's very intuitive, somebody that knew what was taking place. They went off their intuition. They got a nudge to pay attention to their surroundings, or they seen visions, or they had dreams, or something that sort that gave them insight of the deja vu situation that was about to take place. Um, so a little bit about what I found out. Like I said, I was an intuitive woman in my past life. I was a witch. And I do feel like I was prosecuted for being a witch, knowing too much and speaking too much. Um, and over time, I was afraid to be myself. So that's why it showed as my youth, I was afraid to acknowledge what I was able to see or feel because in my family it was shamed upon. Oh, that's the devil's work, blah, blah, blah. But I don't do no devil's work. I just do my normal. I could actually not even use the cards to just speak to a person and pull some energy out of them that I don't even know that I'm pulling out. But when my ex-husband and me broke up, and I did the past life regression. I was in another relationship. Me and that person broke up. We was going through some things, and I questioned all of that. Me losing my daughter at the time, why I was losing everything around me, why I lost my home, I was in the verge of about to get my kids, in some situations. All that stuff was surfacing around me. And the truth is, I did the past life regression. I calmed myself down. I understood it a little bit more. One of the things that was revealed to me, sad to say, that my baby father was my slave owner. Um, he wasn't able to stomach the fact that he didn't want me to be as powerful as I am now. And it was because he felt like him being a man, he was in charge. But when I had the past life regression, I had a vivid, it's like the words came to me. It wasn't even a vision yet. So I still didn't understand if this was what was supposed to happen at the past life regression or not. But a lot of stuff did start to take place. And that started with that. Me and him got in an argument one day, and I immediately did a reading on me and him, a past life reading, and everything that the past life regression pulled up and showed me that he was an authority figure over my life at the time, and he was in control of everything that I did, say, or how I moved. And the reason why we couldn't get along in this lifetime, because I knew my soul knew better, because I was already restricted in one lifetime by him from being who I needed to be. So that was one thing. And he was my slave owner. I did conceive children by him. I wasn't technically married to him back in them times, but I was owned by him. I was technically taken as his property, and technically still in this lifetime, I'm still his property because he was the last person I married. So I might be back to resurface and rehandle that same energy, and he might be back too in another lifetime after this one. So I did recognize that. The second thing that I noticed, when I got in the shelter, that was like a refuge for me. It was a refuge camp. It was a sacred place. It was like being hidden away from the world. Like how when a nun or somebody that's in a higher bracket of spirituality, they go into sabbatical, they go into shut-in. I had to end up doing that as well. I was tucked away from everybody for a while. And during this time, before this time, I was aggressive. I was angry. I didn't want to be at the shelter. It was a lot of things going on, but it was a rescue for my soul. And that's my soul knew it needed to be there at that time, because if I didn't go there, I would never be the person I am today. I wouldn't be able to communicate with y'all the way I am. All that stuff. I was a highly emotional person because, again, like I said, I was going through a lot. So in the mix of going to the shelter, that was my refuge camp. And I understood that. I was rescued from who I was dealing with. I was married to my ex-husband, and I was going through a divorce. I got the divorce. He was still angry. We were still going at it with each other. But the only safe place I could be, where I wasn't homeless and I wasn't living with other people and I wasn't going through all the stuff I was going through, was to be in this shelter. So after I did the regression, I started noticing why it was meant for me to be there, because that was more so like a place where people that were spiritually broken, they was brought there to heal. Where I met a lot of friends. Some of them are still on my page, social medias and stuff, and I still interact with them in a personal life. But that was the biggest thing to me. Like, why was I there? In the mix of that, I had a vivid dream where I had a dream of what's actually a lot of people was talking about more than anything now, the reptilians. Um, I was in a shelter. I had a dream that I had to get interpreted by another spiritualist, and the way she described it, it made so much sense. So I started dealing with a guy that um wasn't right for me. He was taken from me, not given to me. The funny part is the way spirit worked. I was being shown somebody that was on the opposite side of the shelter. I was thought I was dreaming, but it was a lucid dream. I was actually physically being in another dimension at the same time I was in my physical presence, but it was made the same way. So it was something that was there spiritually that was attacking me, but it wasn't from me. It was from the other person that I was dealing with. And this is why they say watch who you lay with, because then you will start to see some things from this person's spirit that it may not align with yours. And that's what happened to me. He was not right deep inside. And the motherfucker, basically, the dream that I had, it showed a man in the refrigerator taking from my nourishments, meaning my waters and my juices and stuff. And when I was going to approach this guy, he physically shape shifted into something that looked like an alligator, but it was a human. And the eyes was going sideways. And instead of him going like this, his eyes, I mean, looking me face on, he was like this coming towards me, like. And I asked the lady, I wrote all of that dream down. I remember this clearly. I wrote it all down. I said, yo, that dream was just too much. And the dream showed the guy going in the refrigerator, disobeying my words. That means he wasn't respecting my boundaries. He was taken from my nourishment. My nourishment is the things that I was filled up with, from happiness to joy, from everything that I was building up inside myself at that time. I shouldn't have been dealing with him because he was taking that from me. And he was putting it in his own life, anything that was making him happy, but he was an empty vessel. So, long story short, I asked the lady what she said, that you seen a reptilian. That means somebody that is not of the human form, somebody that is actually here to destroy versus build. And she said he's overstepping boundaries. Funny part, incident happened with me and that person, and it made sense. I found out so much about him, and he was taking from me. He was taking my joy and my happiness and feeding me bullshit ass lies. And at the same time, I'm not understanding, but that spirit allowed me to have that vision, and the vision was like abrupt. And I literally physically, because in the dream, this person and me became eye to eye, and his eye was like smushing my eye in while he's coming towards me like, what are you telling me to get out your refrigerator for? Like, and his eyes is just bulging and it's hitting mine. I woke up, my eyes were swollen. It was physically swollen, like in the physical. I was attacked by this person's energy towards myself. And if I did not do the past life regression, I probably would have never seen that coming. I probably would have physically still just been doing whatever was going on with life. So when somebody do ask me, what do the past life regression does? It opens your eyes to the real shit that you are so afraid to see on a physical level. It shows you on a spiritual level, you're more tapped into the spiritual remnant than you are in the physical. You can see things that you thought you never could see before. And a lot of people would think somebody bugging, but no, it's your psyche. It's what's inside of you. It's in your subconscious. So then I learned also from this past life regression, because I used to always chase money. Oh, I ain't never gonna have money. I ain't never gonna this. I ain't never gonna that. Oh, I can never be this. Oh, I'm sick of everybody else got the new sneakers on. I can't even afford to get them. Blah blah blah. That is not the conversation you would get from me now. I'll tell you that much, because I have noticed that with that me doing that past life regression, I stopped feeling that way. I started understanding why I wasn't able to purchase them sneakers and stuff, because I was chasing the bag and the bag wasn't chasing me. It wasn't meant for me at that time. It was meant for everybody else. So when I kept having the illusion, the delusional mind of, oh, it's not fair, it's not fair, it's not fair. Why I can't do this, why I can't do that. But Spirit said, no, it wasn't meant for you at that time. What I do say, now that I don't chase money and money chase me, money comes. Money comes fluently to me. I don't have to do much. I could go out here and work all day long, but it still will never amount. up to me not chasing that bag. When I was chasing that bag, I was losing my life. I was chasing a dream. I wasn't sticking to my dream, my inner dream. That was because I wanted to be what the world wanted me to be. So I started going through that, and I started understanding myself a little bit more. What I am gonna say, a past life regression, I could go on and on and on about mine. But if you truly wanted to ask me and you want my honest opinion, if you somebody that keep having stagnations and things that's going on, get a past life regression and get it confirmed by a past life reading, because it will explain to you a lot of things. Like, prime example, I'm gonna even pull some of the things that we're going through right now is the same thing that our ancestors went through. It's just in different forms. Um, like I said, somebody had inboxed me about a few days ago telling me they dreamed, and I knew exactly what that dream was about because I already dreamt that up after I did that past life regression, and it's now in the physical. It's now taking place. All this COVID stuff, all this stuff, I already was aware that all this stuff was actually going to take place. I just didn't know what it was going to be, how the form it was going to be, but I was already aware of all of it. So when people be saying, "Oh, you don't think about the bad side," honey, I have. But spirit gives me the bad side to everything before the good shit come in, so I could have an awareness, so it won't take me off of my path or make me feel lesser than, or feel like I'm being distracted. That's the whole point of a lot of things that we're going through now. We get distracted, and I believe in our past life we was distracted by a lot of stuff. So I am gonna do a past life reading after I close out this live. A past life regression is not as bad as you think it is. If you are a person that have something negative attached to you from your past life and you're afraid to get a past life regression because you feel like you're going to remember, spirit is going to force you to remember anyway. So even if it's a negative thing that you were sent here to do, and then you are becoming aware of it, and you know how to connect your heart and your mind, and you're connected to this reality, spirit going to tell you exactly what you're not supposed to be doing. Maybe that past life of you seeing the negative side of yourself, that's resurfacing, and so you don't make the same mistakes again. There were some mistakes that I have made in my past life that I am aware of that I wasn't supposed to make in this lifetime. So it made a whole lot more sense. Um, what else can I give to y'all before I close out? My suggestion: do what you're supposed to do. Do a past life regression, get an understanding of yourself, get a follow-up reading after it, and I guarantee you, you will feel so much better about yourself. It's knowing yourself that's the problem. The most bad thing that can happen is some things that you may have did in your past life that you wasn't supposed to, that you are now going to be afraid that, damn, why did I do that? But you will never do it in this lifetime. It's like you won't give in. Like, prime example, in my past life, I gave in to a lot of things like that was going on. Like, oh, another one of my past lives I figured out, my twin flame, where he came in at in my life was, I was married to the slave owned me, and he helped me to break free from that. He don't understand that in this lifetime he did the same exact thing. So when I tell him, I'm telling people do the past life regression, you will get a great understanding of why you are in certain people's lives and why certain people is in your lives. And the crazy part is he will never understand that you were who you were to me. You saved me from some shit that I wasn't supposed to be in. You put me in a place of peace. You made me understand myself as an individual versus the negative energy that I was residing in when it came down to my ex-husband and me. I got free from that. I got stronger. I became a better woman. My kids is more healthier. Like, and it has nothing to do with my baby father, because if he was to do a past life regression, he would understand himself a little bit more versus always feeling, how can I say it? Sorry for the things that he ever did to me in the past. He will understand it better. Why I had to forgive him. Why I still forgive him. Why I could still communicate with him on a certain level when it come down to co-parenting. Would it ever be like a personal thing with us? No. I keep my personal business to myself. He keep his personal business to himself, and I don't ask him about his personal business. But I gained understanding of who he was, and the reason why we still was going through the arguments and stuff to this time was because he did not understand our past life like I did. Um. So again, I am going to be back live shortly. I'm going to actually do a past life reading on the collective, on the world. I want to see what is we facing from our past life that we faced it. I mean, what is we facing in this current life that we faced in our past life, and what can we do to actually heal that? So again, if you haven't already, please like, subscribe, and share to my YouTube channel. And if you would like to book a reading with me, you can email me at queensiesreadings@gmail.com, or you can inbox me on Facebook underneath a Queensies Readings. I am on Book Me Now. And it's Queen Z Denise. You can actually book. I don't know how that thing works. I'm trying to get it so where it could put the schedule in my phone and you could be able to pay for it all in one time versus giving yourself the runaround. I'm tired of using Cash App to pay for readings. So I'm trying to find a better way until I get the website completely up. Um, what else? Also, help me reach 1,000 subscribers. And for every 100 subscribers, I will do a live drawing on my channel, picking 3 viewers in order to give them a chance to win a free reading for an hour and 30 minutes. Please help me reach that 1,000 subscribers. I'm at 73 subscribers this far. Push it. Let's get it. Also, if you would like to donate to Queensies Reading, you could Cash App Queensies Readings. But other than that, guys, I want to thank you again. And I also want to tell you, tune in for the next reading, which is going to be a live past life reading.